Welcome to another edition of Quoth Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven. It is Friday, October 24th. That means it's movie night. And joining me, as always, are my two co-hosts, trying to figure out Norse and World Face, Chris Hall.
Hello, everyone.
And
Hello.
Our topic of the night will be the film SQUIRM. But before we get there, we have to talk about our sponsor this week, if it will let me do that. There we go. And that is Scratch and Spin Music, Comics, Movies, and Games, and more collectibles. Their Halloween Comics Fest is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., located at 513 12th Street in West Columbia, South Carolina, across from the Zestos restaurant. Scratch and Spin is Columbia, South Carolina's go-to multimedia entertainment destination. Records, CDs, tapes, comics, toys, and memorabilia, video games, and more await you. So be sure to visit them tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., where I and other guest creators, Ebony Toussaint, Unlovely Frankenstein, and Clay Patterson, will be in attendance selling artwork and books and prints and other cool things. And what exactly does that mean for the Raven? Well, we're going to sell this print, which is my character, Spacey the Alien. This is my art with Chris's colors.
Cool.
Very slick piece. I love it.
We've got this new print of Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman. Also
nice.
And colored by Chris.
Yes, also very slick.
So those will be the two new prints, in addition to the regular prints that many of you have already seen me show at conventions in the past. New artwork. These are originals. This was 50, or will be 50. Two more dragons.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
You will have this like horned troll. That's going to be black and white with just a little bit of color there for the eyes. But I don't have time to color every single piece. There's some other art of that nature that will be there as well. Is that out of the way real quick? I think there's no, it's right there. What did I do with it? There it is. We will have sketch cards. Here is a sheet of the sketch cards.
Great stuff.
And then to give you an idea of what other stuff we will have and what the price is. If you don't, there we go. These are jack-o'-lanterns.
'Tis the season.
We have a bunch more dragons here.
Nice.
I'll make sure you guys can see the whole page. It's not easy to get it on this camera.
Yep. Looking really good.
Some more dragons. And Triceratops. I know you see the Wolverine popping through, but that's just the next page. Some of these you may remember from previous episodes. Some of them are new. The first Wolverine, the Snowbird, the Storm, and the Cyclops on this page are new ones. And on this page, the Sentinel the Hulks, the Iron Mans, and Captain America are new. And there's going to be plenty more as well. These are all new ones available for the first time tomorrow.
Very cool.
So, and I've got a whole stack more to go. 6 sheets at first. So I got, what have I got here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sheets. That's 48 cards. So hopefully I can get as many of those drawn up tonight after the show to be ready for tomorrow. So quite a bit of stuff going on. All right, gentlemen. I know John will be at this store tomorrow at some point to come.
Yes,
see what
I will.
The other folks are going to have as well. Anything that doesn't sell tomorrow, starting next week, we're going to start doing live draws again every week, maybe two or three live draws a week. Where I'm doing new stuff. I'll be taking commissions for the holiday season for Christmas. Anything that doesn't sell that you saw just now will be available, and I'll let you guys know what's available at that time. I know I was supposed to have a live draw the day before our 8 o'clock show, and I apologize to Scratch and Spin and to others who might have been looking for that. Unfortunately, the traffic was so bad. I left the house at 1:30 to go to the printer to get the Catwoman and the Spacey prints. I didn't get home until 5:45.
Wow.
And that's ridiculous. But that's how it was. That's how bad the traffic was today.
It's like your gas tank was full of worms.
Yeah. And snails.
And snails, yeah.
And sloths. Anyway.
And I will not be there tomorrow, but I will be there in spirit.
Yes. He can't get there physically. It's too far to walk. Because he doesn't drive, and that boy doesn't know how to fly yet.
Not yet.
But anyway, but that'll be our thing. And we thank our sponsor, Scratch and Spin, for their support. Okay. Our first discussion then for tonight, or only discussion, I should say, for Starter's Fun review, is 1976's SQUIRM.
The immortal classic.
I'll let you read it, Chris.
All right. This is SQUIRM from 1976, written and directed by Jeff Lieberman. Producers George Manassi, Edgar Lansbury, Joseph Baru, Samuel Z. Arkoff, starring Don Scardino, Patricia Piercy, R.A. Dow, Fran Higgins, Peter McLean, Gene Sullivan. Music by Robert Prince. Production company, The SQUIRM Company. Distributed by American International Pictures. Release date is July 14th, 1976, with a running time of about 1 hour and 33 minutes. Rated R. Well, the one I got was rated PG. It could have been an NR X-rated film if it was edited by the distributor, an attempt to receive the lower PG rating. But
I think what you're saying, what happened is it's been revisited since the PG-13 and everything came about. But when it came out, it was an R film.
Oh, okay. So it was downgraded. I see. All right. With a budget of $470,000, mostly spent on worms. Box office unreported, but allegedly profitable.
Yes. Some notes. The theatrical poster, See Left, was produced by Drew Struzan, who just passed away last week. It was uncredited. Rick Baker and Rob Bottin both worked the makeup effects for the film, and in fact, this film sports Rick Baker's first facial prosthetic makeup effect.
And very nice one at that.
Robert Prince was the composer for the film, which hopefully Joe will discuss because Prince is an extremely well-known composer for television. Did you do some research on that?
I was not able to, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I watched this movie very late last night.
Okay.
Like, very late last night.
Okay. Well, all right, Chris, what is it about?
All right, on September 29th, 1975, in the rural town of Fly Creek, Georgia, a powerful storm topples an overhead power line, leaving the area without electricity. The power line lands in wet mud and electrifies the worms underneath. The next morning, Jerry Saunders borrows a truck from her neighbor, worm farmer Roger Grimes, to pick up her boyfriend Mick, who is arriving from New York City, for a vacation. While Jerry and Mick go to town, Roger's shipment of 100,000 bloodworms and sandworms escapes from the back of the truck. Mick enters the diner where the local sheriff says over 300,000 volts are being released into the ground from several power lines. Mick orders an egg cream and finds a worm in it, though the owner and Sheriff Jim Reston believe he placed it there himself as a prank. Jerry introduces Mick to her mother, Naomi, and sister Alma before they both leave to browse at the antique dealer, Aaron Beardsley's house. Outside, Roger's father, Willie, finds a shipment of worms missing. Roger sees Mick with Jerry and becomes envious of their relationship. After arriving at Beardsley's house, Jerry and Mick cannot find him, but Jerry sees a human skeleton outside the property. They summon Sheriff Reston, but the skeleton has apparently disappeared when he arrives. Thinking it's another prank, Reston threatens to arrest Mick if he ever returns to the town. While asking locals about Beardsley's whereabouts, they find out he was last seen before the storm. Mick believes he himself unintentionally released the worms. He apologizes to Roger and invites him to go fishing with him and Jerry. They eventually find the skeleton in Roger's truck. While on the boat, Mick is bitten by a worm. Roger shows his bitten off thumbs and tells Mick and Jerry that the worms attacked when electrified. Mick gets off the boat to tend to his wound, leaving Jerry with Roger. Next, Mick and Alma take the skeleton's skull to an abandoned dental office, where they compare its teeth with patient x-rays and confirm the skeleton is indeed Beardsley's. Roger makes advances towards Jerry, but the worms brought as bait attack him and crawl into his face. He runs off into the woods screaming, and Jerry later tells Mick what happened. Mick and Jerry visit the worm farm to find Roger, but Mick finds Willie's body being eaten by worms. They report their findings to Sheriff Reston, but he ignores them, of course.
Because he's a dumbass hick cop, and the writer didn't want to make him assume that Mick was the common denominator and arrest him, apparently, even though he said, if you ever return to town, I'm going to arrest you.
Mick then deduces the worms killed Beardsley, but cannot figure out why they attacked him. While Mick and Jerry are eating dinner with Naomi and Alma, the worms eat through the roots of a tree, causing it to crash into the house. Mick realizes electricity is still being released from the power lines and that the wet soil is acting as a conductor. He further hypothesizes the worms only come out at night. Mick tells Jerry to keep everyone inside equipped with candles in order to ward off the worms, of course, and leaves to get plywood to board up the house. Roger, whose face has been deformed by worms, attacks Mick in the woods and knocks him unconscious. He then enters the house and kidnaps Jerry. The worms infest the house and attack other places in town. Sheriff Reston and his date are eaten alive in a jail cell.
Well, at least the writer killed off the dumbass cop.
And people at a bar are attacked and eaten. Mick regains consciousness and finds Naomi's remains covered in worms at the house. When he goes upstairs, Roger attacks and chases him downstairs. Mick pushes Roger into a pile of worms which engulf him. Mick frees Jerry and tells her that Naomi and possibly Alma are dead. While they try escaping through a window, Roger crawls out of the pile of worms and bites Mick in the leg. Mick beats Roger to death with a flashlight before climbing into a tree with Jerry, where they stay until morning. Upon waking, they observe that the worms have disappeared. A lineman informs them that the power has been restored to the town. Alma, who survived by hiding in a chest,
what was the chest made out of that the worms didn't get in?
emerges and looks out the window. Jerry and Mick rush into the house to meet her.
And that's your ending. John, go ahead.
All right. Well, first of all, let me just say I am glad I did not have spaghetti for dinner last night.
And I was hoping that Olive Garden should have sponsored this week's episode.
Oh, that would have been perfect. um, and I have had my fill of worms thanks to this movie. I don't need to see another worm for a long time.
So I guess you won't be going on any fishing expeditions anytime soon.
No. In fact, after I was done, for those of you who watched our Drew Struzan talk last week, I had to watch the Soar Princess of the Sky video, which Drew did a poster for, as a palate cleanser. Now, the thing is, I mean, this movie, it delivered, exactly what I expected. Cheesy acting, cheesy 70s music score. But in spite of that, I did think it was rather competently made for a 70s low-budget horror film. And the print on Tubi looked very nice on my TV.
Yes, there definitely was a lot of cheese in this film. Too bad they didn't do a scene in an Italian restaurant so that the worms were in the Parmesan.
Yeah. Oh, so, this movie is a slow burn, but by the climax, it definitely lives up to its name, and it is mainly for that reason that I don't feel the need to watch it again, ever.
So you were squirming at the end of the film?
Yes.
By the end of the film.
Yes, I was.
Okay. Well, that's kind of the whole point of the film. That's why they call it that. So
it is. It accomplished what it set out to do.
This was a fun, schlocky nature terror film where nature turns against the humans, in this case, electrified worms. The premise is, of course, complete bunk. But then again, there are different types of parasitic worms that do eat humans, though usually the human is a corpse first. So if nothing else, it's an interesting concept. Apparently, they literally fried the worms with electrical current to make them move and rather tortured the poor things. And the whole reason we got this film is because the writer-director's older brother did this, put an electrical current in the ground in order to get worms to come up out of the ground so he could collect them as bait for fishing. And it scared the shit out of him when he was a small child. So he took this experience and then was influenced by Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds and came up with this. The things that will make you want to tell a story. Am I right? Did you know that the cost of this movie made the fishing industry millions of dollars because they took... millions of dollars because they took so many worms to make the movie that they had a shortage.
Crazy, right?
It is crazy.
Yes, and they all end up on screen.
Every single last one of them.
Yep.
And even though there were millions of worms, I think they used the same close-up worm stock footage of the, the worms. But even electrifying the worms, what's that?
There were rubber worms as well, so there's probably some stock footage in the rubber worms. But anyway.
But even electrifying the worms couldn't save the pace or the story of this film. This could have been a 45-minute movie easily, and they could have gotten more than the story across. That being said, I do miss the good old days where you could watch a PG movie and still see a boob.
I do believe that started in the 1980s, Chris. This is 1976.
Well, apparently showers work on the mechanics that if water turns on, you turn the water on and it comes out the shower head. And if you turn the water off, it just sucks everything back in. I didn't know that worked like that, but
Yeah, that's semi-correct. When you turn the water off, the pressure's supposed to stop and the diverter valve cuts the water back to the tub faucet. And the air pressure in the shower head is supposed to drain or suck the remaining water back down towards the faucet.
Oh, so it was mechanically right.
Yes.
Because there was a scene where she turns the water on, and of course the worms start coming out of the shower head. And then she turns the water off, and the worms go and just kind of like reverse back in, like the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. How much of this
turn
film,
off the shower before it comes out of the spout?
right? How much of this film's budget was spent on dental work so the cast could all have only slightly effed up teeth? Man, people were ugly back in the 70s.
Or they were just really cast to be more homely looking to represent the backwoods Georgia Southern hick population. Just wait till I tell you was supposed to be the two major stars of this movie. Because they weren't who was actually cast and who was seen. And you can be like, what?
Oh, do tell.
Now, given how the film feels more like it's a made for television than a theatrical release, and most of the cast were actually soap opera or stage actors rather than film actors, and the composer mostly did episodic movie music for a great many TV shows. This guy worked on The Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, Powers of Matthew Star, all the superhero shows of the 70s and early 80s.
I could almost hear da 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 da. Incredible Hulk walking away.
Right. I could sort of understand where John got it's just competent enough to get a slightly higher grade than he was thinking at first. But really the strength of the film is the special effects and the creepiness of some of the scenes, like the aforementioned worms coming out of the shower head into the tub. Those were really well filmed and executed. But this is like a 1970s version of what sci-fi would do with that concept today, I think.
They'd be all CG worms.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's because we can't torture the poor animals. No animals were harmed during the making of this movie. Luckily, we got to see I thought we got to see the whole film and not a cut version. Maybe you found a cut version. I don't know. But the MPA censor-approved version eliminates the aforementioned shower scene and several other scenes of worm attacks that were perceived as too gory.
Oh, there were plenty of worm attacks in shower scenes and the one I watched.
Yeah, so I think we got to see the whole film and not the cut version then.
Right.
All right. That's why I was trying to figure out how you came up with PG, Chris, because it was like, no, that's an R film.
It said PG.
I don't know.
I'm like, wow, this is PG. Okay. Well, all right.
Weird. Anyway, this film was originally supposed to have Martin Sheen and Kim Basinger as the lead role couple. As Mick and I can't think of her name now. But anyway, Sheen was replaced because he kept ad-libbing and trying to make a joke of the film, basically. And Basinger was passed over because the director thought that nobody that attractive could be from rural Georgia. So I think that's his exact words, too. So I think you can understand why we got the more homely-looking actors for the cast now, don't you? I think if she had taken the script a little more seriously and they'd hired Basinger, this film would be a lot more memorable than it is. It might be a film that both of them regret ever being in, but it would be more memorable.
Right.
But it is a cult classic. And it's not to say that the performances by the cast were that bad, but they did need some more experienced film actors, I think, among the cast. I mean, both of you two have stage experience, but that doesn't mean we should make a remake of the Blues Brothers with John in the role of Elwood and Chris in the role of Jake. I mean, Dan Aykroyd couldn't make the audience fall in love with the sequel, Blue Brothers 2000, because he didn't have John Belushi. And it's not like John Goodman isn't a great actor in his own right. Right?
Very true.
Right.
So while I would agree this cast is rather wooden and campy at times, it's no more so than many other horror films of the 1970s. Ratings. Go ahead.
I gave it a 2, and that's me being generous.
I gave it a 3. I was going to give it a 3 and then a 0.5 for the boob, but, Lewis said, nah, we won't do that.
Well, I mean, I know you like to give boobs I don't know why. I mean, you see boobs every day in the mirror, man.
They deserve their own rating. It doesn't matter. Every time I see them, I'm like,
He must like to look at himself in the mirror a lot. Anyway, I gave it a 3 as well. I'm also being generous, but I'm being generous. John's being generous just because I don't know. He just doesn't want to give it a 1. I'm being generous because I do have some admiration. There's some earnestness about the film. I think. I think I think they were trying to do something, not necessarily drop dead serious, but I do think they were trying to do something well intentioned for the film, for what it was supposed to be.
That's fair enough.
The storyline doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, if there's that much electrical current running through the thing to make the worms go all nuts, shouldn't we all be like getting shocked by the electrical currents through our feet?
No, because we're literally grounded.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was a kind of a weird thing anyway. But it's based on something true. Like I said, the director, your older brother did it when he was a kid. So,
well, I personally have gone hunting lots of times for night crawlers as a kid, and I never did that method. We just literally waited for night and like turned over rocks and like grabbed them out of the ground, dug them out of the ground. So
yeah. Yep.
Can't say as I ever electrified the ground before.
Yeah, that would be that. Well, that's something for you to go test. I wouldn't recommend it though. So that's pretty much what we have this week. What are we watching next week? Well, the fact is, these two can't agree on anything. Chris wants Tales of Halloween. John wants Tales from the Crypt from 1972. So me, the fair arbiter that I am, I'm going to put them both in a randomizer program, and let's see just what happens. Let me go get the randomizer shared here so we can all see it.
I just said Tales of Halloween because I've seen Tales from the Crypt so many times.
Okay. Well, because you guys couldn't make a choice, I decided it could be one, the other, or both.
Ooh.
Let's find out what happens.
And we have Tales from the Crypt.
Okay, that is our film for next week then. And I think that's what we're going to start doing more often. It's like each one of us come up with a film we want to watch the following week, and we'll just randomize.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
And then the other two will be like the following week or something like that, or whatever. We'll do it that way. So Tales from the Crypt 1972 is our choice for next week. And so I want to thank again Scratch and Spin Records and Collectibles for sponsoring us. Please come and visit me and the other artists, Clay Patterson on Lovely Augustine and Miss Toussaint. I think it's Ebony Toussaint. But anyway,
Ebony Toussaint
tomorrow. Yes, not a croissant.
No, I believe it's pronounced Toussaint.
Yeah, but anyway, that'll be tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we'll be back on Monday with our regularly scheduled manga stuff. Where will you be tomorrow, Chris?
I will be helping Angie around the house. We do not have a Glass House podcast, so.
That's right. I remember you telling me that. I just wanted to make sure before I forgot. All right. And of course, John will be at this event tomorrow as well. And then we're going to also talk about another event next weekend. And I don't know if I'm going to be there or not, but as guest artist, that is. But there's going to be another store that's actually having an opening day on Halloween Day.
Very cool.
In town. So, and that's over on Garner's Ferry. So we'll talk more about that next week. In the meantime, if this thing will go to the next thing. There we go.
Please remember to walk and feed your worms.
Yes. If you have questions, comments, suggestions for topics of discussion, contact me on Facebook at lewis.wrightraven, on the Twitter X machine at lewisbrightwave2. You can see more of my artwork if you liked what you saw earlier in the beginning of the episode at deviantart.com/brightraven. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightwave exclusively on YouTube. You can also see Chris's color work at DeviantArt at deviantart.com/fatboy73. Questions, again, comments, anything, you want to email me, quotheravenlbr72@gmail.com. It's the place. Check us out. And if I don't answer there, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. If you want to specifically reach Chris, it's ghthrowingstones@gmail.com. If you want to reach John, it's grayfigaro@hotmail.com. All right. So as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on Monday. But until then, have a great weekend. And without further ado, we'll see you next time. Quoth the Raven. Nevermore.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out.